Gil, you had this big rally at the legislature today. How'd it go?
It exceeded all expectations, Mark. I've been an activist in Alberta for most of my adult life, and I've attended dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of rallies here at the legislature. I've never seen one bigger. My just sort of rough guess is about 30,000. And it wasn't just the teachers. Obviously, the majority of the crowd were teachers, but when one of the speakers called for a show from how many students were here, there were like incredible number of students, parents, supporters from the community. I mean, it's just a huge show of support for the teachers and for public education.
Now, we heard today that the UCP government introduced a number of motions so that when they bring in the back to work legislation on Monday, they can fast track it and have it in place by Monday, Tuesday at the latest. What's your response to that?
Well, I mean, they're kind of thumbing their nose at democracy. I mean, we have three readings of bills for a reason, so that legislation can be given careful consideration, give the opposition an opportunity to raise concerns and make suggestions for amendments. And so the fact that they introduced a motion today to limit debate on first, second, and third reading to 1 hour each just shows that they have contempt for the whole democratic process. They know they're doing something that the public doesn't support, and so they're trying to get it over with as quickly as possible. And I've said this before, but Alberta has, frankly, especially when conservative governments in charge, they have a big anti-democratic strain running through them. That's especially true with the UCP. I mean, there's no other legislature in the country that would allow a sitting government to limit debate to this extent. So basically, they're going to introduce the bill Monday morning. They're going to try to ram it through by the end of the day. That's unheard of in any other Canadian legislature.
What's the resolve of the teachers and of other union leaders, in particular the ATA and so on, in the face of back-to-work legislation?
Yeah, well, I mean, the teachers were here in force, but they were also supported by many other unions. So I spoke on behalf of the Federation of Labour, which represents 24 unions in the public and private sector. I'm also the co-chair of what we call the Common Front, which is an even bigger coalition of unions representing 350,000 workers in this province. And whether it's the Federation of Labour or Common Front, we all agree that this is a really important moment for workers in this province, especially because, back to work legislation is one thing, but if this government does what we think they might do, which is invoke the Notwithstanding Clause to strip these teachers of their constitutionally protected right to strike and to negotiate collectively, then that won't just be an attack on teachers. It's going to be an attack on all working people in this province. And, up till now, this has been a fight about one particular collective agreement and also a fight about the teachers' determination to stop this government from dismantling our public education system. But if they go ahead with the Notwithstanding Clause, then it's going to be a fight about workers' rights. And then, all bets are off at that point. And that's what I said to the crowd today, that, government is picking a fight, not just with teachers and supporters of public education, which is a big fight just by itself, but they're picking a fight with the entire labor movement and all workers in this province.
Is there solidarity, obviously, amongst the union leaders in the face of this? Is there solidarity or agreement on what you will do if, for the province-wide action you've talked about, if they use the Notwithstanding Clause?
Well, there's a lot of conversation, and in fact, we're having an emergency meeting of all the union leaders from both the public and private sector, basically all the unions. We're having an emergency meeting tomorrow afternoon. We'll probably continue talking over the weekend, and certainly when the legislation is actually tabled on Monday, then we'll know whether or not they're invoking the Notwithstanding Clause. So we're going to continue talking, and so we've actually set up a website called Ready to Resist, and we're asking our members and all Albertans who support the teachers and who are concerned about the possibility of this government using the Notwithstanding Clause to strip workers of their right to strike. We're asking everyone who would like to get involved in this fight to visit the website, go to the AFL website, afl.org, or you can text the word resist to 55255. That's the word resist to 55255. That'll take you to a landing page where you can sign up. And and if you do sign up, we'll give updates to people about what the protest actions are going to look like. And they will be escalating, especially if the government, as I say, takes this unprecedented and very provocative step of using the Notwithstanding Clause.
Well, Gil, here at Energy Media, we're going to be following this story. I have no doubt I'll be talking to you on Monday and maybe even before then. So thank you very much.
Okay, thanks very much, Markham. Take care.